I am so excited to be collaborating, and I've actually been feeling into this question ever since we've put it out there.
Yeah.
And it's been a journey. Even for me, it's been a journey.
Yeah, well, I mean, I feel like I'm still in this. I'm teaching what I've learned, but I'm
Mm,
still someone who is learning how to receive
yeah,
in
yeah.
just in different layers and different levels now.
Mm, you're expanding as you go.
Yeah, well, I feel like I've kind of and like people can resonate with where they're at. You're on different parts of the journey, and like in the very beginning of the journey is I don't know how to receive. I can't receive. Like, I
Mm,
don't know how to accept or even allow someone to do anything for me. And
mm,
then there's kind of like, okay, I've softened a little bit. I'm kind of okay with it. I can at least receive a compliment without completely deflecting it.
mm,
And then you get to the point where you're like, yeah, okay, I'm happy with asking for what I want and allowing people to do things for me. But then there's
mm.
still, I feel like there's always so much more, like you can go so much deeper.
Mm,
But I'm kind of
yeah,
like at that stage of like, I'm okay to ask for what I want and let people do things for me, even though it's uncomfortable.
mm,
And I'm just like, I can let myself be in that.
yeah,
But I can see the where the further growth could even more growth could come in.
yeah. And I think with receiving, there's like an element of vulnerability. So it's like the more we learn to be comfortable with being vulnerable, the more we're able to receive in different areas.
Mm, yeah, definitely. Vulnerability is a big, big part of it.
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't even kind of write it down. I wrote so many other things, but not this word. So I'm pleased it came through. But
Yeah.
what I noticed when you were speaking, the cultural influence, because where I come from, over reliance is the problem.
Mm,
And that actually blocks receiving because you're trying to externalize the need for comfort, for love. You're always like want to grab it from different people or
yeah.
different things. Um, so I had to do the opposite. I had to start receiving from me, which
Yeah.
is a very underrated aspect of receiving,
Mm,
right? We want to receive from the universe, we want to receive from people. What about you?
yeah, yeah. What about yourself?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we have so
So,
much. Well, th that's the biggest part about receiving is that, like, and what I've kind of focused on is we're so good at giving. Well, like me, from in my background, and like a lot of the people in my community, we're so good at giving to other people, and that comes from the anxious attachment wounds of there is something inherently wrong with me. I am not valuable as a person, and
mm,
therefore my value stands in what I am able to give somebody else.
mm,
So
mm,
then the focus is always on what can I give? What can I do? How can I people please? How can I make other people feel good and give them what they want and just completely deny what I want because no one wants to give me anything.
mm.
It's like this deep rooted like self-worth wound
Yeah,
that comes from the anxious attachment wound that I have experienced. And so we don't actually know how to receive or how to let ourselves receive
yeah,
because we're so busy in the doing and the giving to other people that
mm,
we don't even realize that we can give to ourselves and that we can receive from other people.
yeah, yeah. Because
Yeah.
with anxious attachment, they have an underlying belief or fear that if they don't go out there and get it themselves and give, um, then they will not receive what they want to receive.
Mm.
So they're always operating on the premise that they're not going to receive unless they do A, B, or C.
Yeah, yeah. And then that brings up an interesting point of that we were talking about at the connection circle on Friday actually, which is I'm afraid that other people are not going to be able to give me what I actually want. In,
Mm-hmm.
we're so like we give at this high level of like, and we've got these huge expectations of ourselves. So then we actually internalize that and have those high expectations of other people. And we actually doubt that other people can give us the support, the love, the things that we desire. So rather than potentially feeling disappointed in another person, we actually just don't even expect a
Yeah.
thing.
Mm. Yeah, that's really I really felt that when you said that because I've been there. I really have been there and I understand what it's like to operate from that level every day.
Yeah.
And I think honestly, it's because we don't have the tools to sit with that level of pain, that level of fear. So
Mm,
we go on years and years not willing to experience that pain.
yeah. And so much of, what you can learn in somatics is about learning how to feel and process your emotions.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah,
just what we weren't taught. And that's why I love what we do and what we teach people is how to feel and process your emotions.
yeah,
So
yeah.
you can sit in that fear, you can sit in that discomfort to open yourself up
Mm,
to what's on the other side of that,
mm. What
right?
is on the other side?
What is on the other
You
side of that?
usually it's freedom.
Yeah.
Usually it's freedom, usually it's love, expansion. It's on the other side.
Yep.
And I guess that's our job. The way I see myself as a therapist, I'm just holding like my clients' hands and we're crossing that road together. That's like, it's okay. Come on, just check it out. I swear it's really nice once we do this really hard thing together.
Yes, yes. It's always the joy is on the other side of the discomfort.
Yeah,
And it's but if we don't have tools or we don't know how to deal with discomfort, we're going to avoid it because our brains want to keep us safe.
yeah.
And what is uncomfortable is often what is unfamiliar,
Mm,
right? To the brain. The brain is like, this isn't, we don't know this. This is like uncharted territory. This is dangerous. Let's avoid it. Let's not go into it. Let's just go away from this and stick with what feels familiar, even if what is familiar and comfortable is detrimental to our own selves,
yeah.
right? And so, like, what I've written here is that receiving from God, a high being that you believe in, other people, and ourselves, that receiving can feel foreign and uncomfortable.
Mm,
And so, practicing receiving, learning how to move through the discomfort, and practicing the receiving so it becomes comfortable and it becomes familiar in our minds
yeah,
is that's the work.
yeah,
It's like
yeah,
everything is going to feel unfamiliar and therefore uncomfortable in the beginning
yeah.
because you just haven't done enough of it.
Mm, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
That's spot on. Yeah.
yeah, and a perfect example of how someone can start to work this muscle of learning how to receive and teaching themselves how to receive that is super quick and easy, and you can start it today and you'll be able to see the benefits of it, is learning how to accept a compliment.
Mm,
So, a lot of the time, when you're early on in your journey, if someone tries to compliment you, it's immediate deflection. It's like, if someone says, "Oh, your hair looks so nice today." "Oh, no, it's really dirty and I need to wash it." And like, yeah, I need to get it cut. Like it's gross. It's like the person was just telling you that your uncut, dirty hair looks good. So that's kind of a good place to be at.
yeah.
But it's, you can't even receive it, so you immediately deflect it. So what I encourage people to do is when someone compliments you, just say thank you.
Mm,
Just practice doing that
mm,
rather than deflecting, rather than trying to reverse it and give them a compliment straight away. Just say thank you
mm.
and see how that changes everything in your mind, in how you show up, and how you begin to work this muscle of being able to receive.
Yeah, yeah, beautiful. I think you're basically rewiring um a thought pattern that used to be there for about how many years. So when you like interrupt it for the first time, it's like, what are we doing here? We're accepting a compliment now? That's weird.
That's strange. This feels weird.
Mm, yeah. So it looks simple. It looks like a very simple practice, but you're actually rewiring how your brain works.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is great. Like, I don't know, someone taught me that one day. Like, just practice saying thank you, and
Mind blown.
oh, that's simple. I'm like, and that's
Mm,
available to me.
mm,
Okay, like I'll just try it on for size, and yeah, it's changed everything for me since then. I no longer deflect any compliment. Or like
mm.
I'll just like speak out loud to myself and I'll be like, okay, I'm actively trying to just receive this. I'm just gonna let it land. And I'm like stopping myself from saying the other words.
Yeah, I was going to mention that as well. Even noticing how your body reacts and taking a moment to sit with that a little bit. Why did I react like that? Why
Mm.
did I want to deflect? Where is it coming from? And you make that such a simple thing a practice because then you're more aware of your old wounds and you're able to recorrect them. Oh, well, it's because I don't feel pretty today. You can go ahead and correct that. Pretty according to who?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
And awareness is the first step always.
always, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
And I love the idea of reflection, and like that's some of the things that we're going to offer in the art of receiving gathering, right? Is some reflection, journaling questions.
yeah. And I would like to add to that the somatic element, going back to the somatics. You mentioned that receiving is unfamiliar, right? Unfamiliar not to just the mind, but the body.
Yeah.
Working through the body is such a hack. I like to start there and then go into the mind rather than the other way around. So when I take people through a process, and this could be applicable to any emotion you want to work with, there's the somatic level, there's the mental, psychological, and there's the spiritual, because we do not
Mm.
discount the spirit over here.
Nope. We honor her.
And starting from the body, where is that discomfort located in? And we breathe into it, creating just a bit of space around that tension. And
Mm,
the crazy thing here is the more you do this practice of scanning where in the body there's discomfort, you start getting memories
Yes.
Very specific memory. I remember when I was doing my Vipassana, which is 10 days silent meditation in nature. That was rough. The last 7 days is just a body scan. That's what you're doing 10 hours of every day. You're just doing a body scan. And there was few areas of my body that I couldn't scan. I would just go numb,
Mm,
just numb. And the more I scanned there, the more I started getting memories,
mm,
specific memories that were blocked off.
wow.
So when we use the intention of where am I feeling the block of receiving, you might not get the exact visual, but you might get an age, you might get a place, you might get a person of the first time you learned receiving was not safe.
Mm, yeah. Yeah.
So from there, we did half of the work really, because then you can just this is where I would include parts work or internal family system, and we can start talking to that part.
So good.
Why do you think receiving is not safe? What
Yeah.
can we do to make it more safe? And then that part usually doesn't know you are the age you are today. It's been frozen in the past. It's 10 when you ask for comfort and you got a slap instead. You know,
Preach.
that
Preach.
will leave a mark.
That's
No,
gonna
you're
do something.
crying. Like, I'll give you something to cry about. I don't know, maybe that's my culture, but even being sent to your own room, or being left out, or
Mm,
your crush liking your best friend, not you. So
yeah.
many reasons that could have left a numb area in your body.
Mm-hmm.
So we facilitate the conversation and we create ease and comfort that you needed back then,
Yeah.
now. Yeah,
I love IFS. I love all of
powerful.
that. It's so powerful. And I love how you want to work on the somatics of and you're like really highlighting that of like processing the emotions in the body
Yeah.
because that's like I don't specialize in that. It's something that I really recommend people to like you and my friend Lanes for that because I'm very mind focused, I'm mental focused. I'm like, let's work through the thoughts and the mental
Mhm.
processing. Let's mentally process and, logically analyze these emotions. But like that on its own is not enough. You've
Yeah.
got to have the somatic, the mental, and the spiritual processing of things. And like when you can incorporate all of them together, like, oh my gosh, the transformation that is available to you, the positive feelings that you can access, the internal harmony and self-leadership through all of
Mhm.
the different, stages of life. It doesn't healing doesn't mean you're never going to experience pain or challenges again. What it means is that you're going to be able to work through those challenges, being connected to yourself and being the person that you want to be throughout the whole process.
Mm.
It doesn't have
Yeah.
to be this completely soul-crushing experience every time a challenge comes up. It becomes an invitation to go deeper.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah.
I love how just your humility live, just saying, I do the mind, but I know it's not enough. I think it's that just a testament to how good of a facilitator you are, because I know indirectly you still incorporate a lot of the other elements, like holding space and your own connection to God, which are important even in facilitating the mental aspect of healing. But
Mm,
you're absolutely right. This is part of the work, and it's meant to ease the discomforts for you so that you go out there and explore how to receive for yourself, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm,
It's like, you know that you're not alone and you know that you're going to be okay. Like
mm,
you've got you know that you can reach out to people, to your safe people, and then you also know that you have your own back and rely on
mm,
yourself to help you through those difficult times as well, rather than feeling like you've got no one.
yeah.
I love this stuff.
Community. Community is very, very important. Yeah,
Which is another aspect of the art of receiving
yeah,
gathering that I love is that we're not doing this on our own, we're doing it together and we're building community. We're bringing people from all different parts of Sydney together into this one place where we're
yeah,
all working on the same thing in different types of flavors, but
yeah,
we all have our unique journey and stories to share that we can learn and be inspired from one another. And then you have this beautiful bond and connection of like doing this type of healing in community.
yeah.
It's just I love it.
Mm, yeah, same here.
Yeah, it's so good. I love bringing people together. I love that when you come into these spaces, when it's super safe and you're able to be vulnerable and then connect with people, you can honestly make friends for life.
Yeah,
And it
that's
heals
true.
so much of the sister wound as well.
Mm,
Because maybe in your workplace, the women in your workplace, you're like, oh, like, the old wounds are still like playing out of jealousy and insecurity and scarcity and backstabbing and stuff like that. And so you may still have this idea of like, oh, nah, like I can only have my one friend because that's the only place that's safe for me. Like I'm not safe in a group of women. But then you take a leap and you come into a safe space with people who are on the same journey as you, who really understand you and only want to support and they want what's best for you. And yes, you've come to, heal your receivership wounds. You're here to learn how to receive, but then at the same time, you're realizing how safe it is and how good it can be to connect with a group of women.
yeah, yeah,
Like you're realizing, oh, people exist like this.
yeah.
you
And
know?
you're learning to receive. So, yeah, I think having like a group intention, I found it to be one of the most transformational things I've ever experienced before I stepped into the therapy world or
Mm.
even my own practice. I was going to circles for 4 years in a row.
Mm.
A lot of them are just women, some of them are in nature. It was through circles that a lot of my healing took place. And then it just brings out different elements. The one-on-one is intimate, it's for you to go deep into the
Mm.
muddiness of it all. And then you have group energy where the intention is double, tripled, so, and it
Yeah.
becomes like a link, this energetic link between all of us. And when we have the intention of transmuting something, can you believe like 12 or how many people will have 15
Mm.
all having the same intention? We're transmuting this fear, this collective fear of receiving. That is the recipe for magic.
That's some powerful shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's amazing. Sorry, my dog just came in.
Okay. And
Um,
just to add to that quickly, that's how our ancestors did it as well, like sitting in the shape of a circle and discussing matters and our problems.
mhm.
That's how they did it before. It's
Yeah.
ancestral. That's why it feels natural, it feels comfortable, because at some point our grandparents did the same thing.
And that's why it feels so good as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's authentic and genuine connection. You know, like we hide away so much on our phones, messaging
Mm,
people and thinking that that's connection, but there's nothing that compares to being face to face in a room filled with people trying, working towards the same goal, and there's no phones involved. There's just complete presence
mm,
with each other in that moment. How often do you get that these days?
mm, mm.
And like, yeah, I love that we're going back because what worked for our ancestors, it worked. You know,
Yeah,
we're still human.
yeah, yeah. I think we're all realizing that. I think every once a week I get a message from a friend. Let's start a commune. Let's just go for it. Like let's just go be human, you know. I think
Yeah.
we're all realizing that, and what's important to know is that we can recreate that in the
Mm,
way we want. We don't have to accept modern life just
mm,
for what it is. If something doesn't work for us as a collective, we have free will, you know. We are on God's earth. We can go out there and create what it is that works for us. I don't subscribe to the fear narratives that we're doomed. Um,
good.
just how like they innovated in the past, we can keep doing that for ourselves as well.
Yeah. One more thing I wanted to add about receiving is the fear of rejection.
Mm, yeah.
So I know, like for myself, what has played out in my journey is I'm so afraid to ask for what I want, or I'm so afraid to ask someone to give me something because what if they say no?
Mm,
Or what if they don't give me what I want, what I want to receive? And there's this thing here of this idea that being needy equals bad. You
yeah.
know, like I know me, especially as a teenager, like I was a needy girl. I
Mm,
knew I wanted certain things from a guy, whether we were in a relationship or just talking in a situationship. And that was really like, it was like, oh no, you need too much. She is too needy.
mm,
And so then, but you're just being yourself, right? And then you're like, oh, hold on, okay, that's bad. So I need to not have needs and I need to be easy so that way I don't make other people uncomfortable. But
yeah. So you self-abandon is what
yeah,
I'm hearing.
yeah, you abandon yourself and go, okay, well, um, I need to be really easy. I need to make sure I'm giving them what they want and being who they want me to be. And I need to make sure that I don't ask for a thing and don't expect anything. So that way, I seem like an ideal person for them that they would want to choose to be with. And so much of what I learned in healing my own anxious attachment wound was that having needs is not being needy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so accepting and loving yourself and the fact that you are a person who has needs is such a big first step
Mm,
in being able
mm,
to be open to receiving.
mm.
It's
Yeah.
accepting that I am a human who has needs and desires of how I want to be treated, of how I want to receive from other people. And it's okay for me to have those needs.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not a bad thing just because one person wasn't willing or able to give me that.
Mm, mm. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you bring up, I actually wrote down some stuff about that as well, about needs. And what I wrote down is, are you admitting to yourself that you have needs?
Mm, yeah.
And then we go into two possible scenarios from there. Yes, I'm admitting that I have needs. How intense are you about them? They have to be met in order to experience happiness? Or are you in denial? I don't need these needs met. I'm all good on my own.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And would you say like kind of somewhere in the middle is where you want to be?
Yeah, I think there's a perfect sentence that I say myself often. I get my clients to say it's, I'm worthy on my own. I am already complete. I am already holy. I am love. I feel love. But universe, I would like to call in this. This
Love
is
that.
what I desire, right?
Yeah.
And that was actually the sentence I did um a lot towards the end of my 3 year single life. It was admitting to myself I so desired a partnership, but I didn't associate it to my worth anymore. But I knew that my desire was deep and big, and to convince myself that that was not there
Mm,
was only pushing it
yeah,
away.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like you being on either end of the pendulum, you know, like the oh my gosh, I need a relationship or I need this thing in order to feel whole, in order to be
yeah,
happy compared to like the avoidant, which is like the no, I don't need anything, I don't need anyone, I'm good on my own.
mm,
You know,
mm,
like neither of them are kind of like neither of them are the truth. The
yeah,
truth is you are whole and worthy regardless of if you have that thing or person in your life and you have the ability to be happy. And also you don't need it, but it's something that you desire and that desire has been put on
desire.
your heart for a reason.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely allowed to have desires. You're allowed to have needs. And I
Yeah.
guess we just haven't been taught what to do with these two things.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't know what to do with our needs. Do we need someone else to do them for us all the time, or do we abandon ourselves because that other person is not doing them?
Mm, I can't hear you.
Okay.
Oh, you're back. You're
Oh,
back.
your phone's just turned off. Can you hear me now?
You're back now.
I think a good equation to have when it comes to ability to receive is getting close to your needs, understand them fully. What are they? Which ones are fair, right? Which ones can I expect other people to meet these needs for me? Which ones I should meet myself? And then you have desires. Those are what you just want in your life, like a hot partner or a holiday in Bali, things that you just desire and you're not using to escape.
Mm, yes.
The balance of those two is a lifelong thing, I must say myself.
Yeah, but you can see, right, it comes back to like when you're at different stages of the journey, you have this conceptual, like early, you have this awareness of like, okay, like don't really love where I'm at, but like I can see that there's something possible for me. Then you kind of intellectualize it and you understand it like in your mind, and then you're kind of like, all right, I'll apply it into my life.
Mm,
And then it's just this continuous journey of learning the new layers, applying the new layers, and so on and so on. And like it's a journey, it's a lifelong journey. There's no
mm,
final end point or destination. The
mm,
beauty of it is that we get our whole lives to be able to expand and grow on these understandings and teachings and knowledge and things, you know, like with age comes wisdom and then like like I've been having this whole like epiphany lately of thinking back to my younger self, like when I was like 18, when I
Yeah.
thought had it all figured out. And like I just realized that my awareness at 18 is so small.
Yeah, yeah.
You have no idea. And like
Nope.
even me now, like being 26, like someone who's like, 56 might look at me and be like, you got no idea.
Mm, yeah. It's very subjective for sure.
Mm.
That's why it's a lifelong work and not resisting when something new comes. I've had that in my personal life as well, where I think these equations and this process went through like a 3-year journey with my anxious attachment and desiring a lot of standards being met through a partnership.
Mm.
And I did all of that, and it was beautiful. I manifested a beautiful relationship, and I was like, ah, my work is done. Tap, tap. So good. Good job, Salwa. I am done with this work. I can now into the world and teach it. And of course, I apply a lot of it in my therapy work. But then I've had to do the exact same thing with my business
There you go.
from the start.
And we begin again.
Yeah, and let's go. And
Yeah.
there's a lot less resistance. That's the difference. There's a
Mm-hmm.
lot less judgment, which is
Good.
yeah, there's a lot more flow. I
Mm.
approach the hardships with more acceptance. And I trust that, it's just the cycle of life. Like you'll go through a whole chapter where you're learning so many things, and then the new chapter will bring new challenges. Can't escape it.
Yeah. My coach says, new level, new devil.
Yeah, I love that one. Yeah.
So
Yep.
good. But even like in your relationship, like there'll be new things or, just things that weren't able to come up when you were single that will come up when you're in a relationship.
Yeah.
Because there is only, I was told this when I healed my anxious attachment wound, was that there are only certain things that you can heal. There are only so many things you can heal while you're single. Other stuff will come up when you're in your next
Yeah.
relationship, but like it's okay because it's just another opportunity and an invitation to heal other things that can't be done on your own.
Yeah.
And it doesn't
We
mean it's
call
bad.
that relational. If you have relational trauma, you
Mm,
can't heal it while you're single fully.
yeah.
You can do a lot of the good foundational work on your own, and then new challenges will come through.
Yeah. What did you call it? Relational
Relational trauma.
trauma. Yeah. Cool. I love that.
Relational trauma is healed through relationships.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. Now I have a word for it.
Hmm.
Amazing.
I guess one aspect that we didn't talk about that I find is really important in these things as well. And I briefly touch on it because I appreciate that family constellation training takes years. I know I see that it's very mentioned very widely, but I just want to stress that this work takes a long time to master. So when I bring it into my work, I try to use just the foundational aspects of it. And this one has to do with what we have observed our parents, our grandparents, even the ones before them, believe it or not, how they influence our ability to receive or love or other things. So if
Mm,
you saw your mom constantly sacrificing herself for the sake of the family, abandoning her own needs for the needs of others, what are you going to be doing? Well,
yeah.
actually, two things. You might not be doing the exact same thing. You might accidentally do that, or you might be like, I saw my mom do this for everyone. I'm never going to be like that, right? And then you go into the opposite spectrum.
Yeah.
So how I incorporate family constellations into this process is just observing where the pattern is from by seeing a person, and you'll be really surprised. Sometimes you'll have an auntie or like a great grandma, someone you've never seen just show up into your field, and we just say a very simple statement. Look friendly upon me as I do it differently.
Mm,
As I said that, I get goosebumps.
literally.
And
Yeah, I
it's
just got them too.
and it's basically acknowledging that's what they've had to do for survival, for God knows what. There's so many secrets and things we don't understand about our family systems. But it's just to kind of separate yourself from that pattern and get their blessing and support in doing it differently. Because we
Mm,
all know breaking from your family system can also bring its own challenges.
yeah. Rocking the
So,
boat.
yeah,
I love that. And I haven't been able to whoop, dip my toe into too much or into any family constellation therapy yet.
yeah,
Um, did I say constellation? Because I meant to say constellation.
yeah.
Um,
So,
but I would be so interested to have you incorporate that for us. Like that would be so cool.
mm,
Because
uh,
it's
um,
so
yeah,
you can see just by what you said, you can see how that would I can look into my life and see in so many other people's lives how that could affect our ability and willingness to receive.
yeah, yeah. And I think it brings a lot of comfort. It's like, I feel like why I love family constellations so much is because it's saying to people, you're not broken. There's a reason this is manifesting for you like this. It's
Mm.
not entirely your fault.
Yeah.
And it just gives you comfort. It's not to blame parents. Okay. We're not blaming anyone here, guys. Okay.
No.
We're not going to be
No.
like, Mom, you did so bad. She had to survive. Leave her alone.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
not here to blame. We're
Good.
not here to delegate responsibility. We're just getting comfort from having a source of where things are so that
Mm.
we can do it differently.
Perfect. I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I would like to read this quote from one of the main textbooks for family constellation.
Let's do it.
We tend to experience unearned good fortune as threatening, something that creates anxiety, secretly believing that our happiness will arouse the envy of others or of fate. We
Mm.
all tend to feel that happiness breaks a taboo and makes us guilty, as if by being happy we put ourselves in danger. Genuine gratitude reduces this anxiety, and affirming good fortune in the face of another's misfortune requires humility as well as courage. It's very deep.
Wow. That's so true, though.
Mm,
I've seen that play out in my life so much.
mm,
That reminds me of the Marianne Williamson poem.
don't
Have
know.
you don't know it?
No.
Oh, let me read it to you.
Oh, yes, please.
Okay. Our deepest fear. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. there's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are
Mm.
all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others.
Mm. Mm. That was so beautiful. You have to send me that, or maybe I can search it up. I think I need it.
I'll send it to you.
Mm.
It's yeah, incredible. Changed my life when I heard that poem.
It's just so amazing to see how many layers this topic has, because now we like went past wounds and traumas and attachment styles. What happens when we are fortunate and we don't know how to embrace that? Or
Mm,
when we
yeah,
do see our light, but we're scared of it. Yeah.
I
I
see
think
that so
I think
much.
that's the second, like the other coin side of the coin. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 being afraid of our light.
Mm.
Yeah.
I can already think of someone who's come into the circle, who's had beautiful, amazing achievements in the past 1 or 2 years after, working really hard all her life. And I think she's struggling receiving all of that's happening for her
Mm,
at the moment. So I can already think, yeah, I'm
yeah.
happy she's coming.
Everyone who's coming is perfect. They're meant to be there for sure.
Mm,
Yeah.
that's
And I love that there's many different ways that we can look at this. Yeah, I think that like that for me comes back to like what you said about like being open to receiving from yourself,
mm,
like being open to receiving your own like being proud of yourself,
mm,
being willing to give yourself that,
yeah,
being willing to recognize like the sometimes we get so focused on the achieving and the striving and the doing and we don't actually take the moment to look back on how far we've come
yeah,
and to really honor ourselves for all of the effort and the hard times that we pushed through and the things that we did to get ourselves to where we are.
mm, yeah.
Because we are in a society of constantly ticking boxes and
What's next? What's next? What's next? Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And you brought up an amazing point, Liv, because in my opinion, receiving from yourself comes first. If you
Mm,
actually want to receive from the universe or God, or you want to receive from others, you actually have to work on that receiving from yourself first. Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, it's got to come from you first.
yeah. Otherwise, you're waiting for external things to fill a void or a need.
Yeah. Whenever you want a partner or you're wanting a relationship, I always say to my clients like whatever love and things that you think you're going to receive or that you want to receive from that person, actively give it to yourself
Yeah.
until it then comes from that person.
Mm,
Or until that person then comes into your life and then you realize, oh, I don't need that person to give me those things. Yeah, it's a nice bonus,
mm.
right? But I give it to myself and like that's being in that secure place, right?
Yeah.
Of I want a relationship, but I don't need it.
Mm, mm. I think this is where like desires come as well. This is why I find desires are a really good middle to honor what you want without like that need. I need it, right? So it's like, I want it. It's the difference between I need it and I want it. I need it to survive, or I want it because I want to expand my heart. I want to love someone else. I want to receive from someone else.
Yeah.
And that, see, there's another layer again. That's feminine energy as well. That I want
Yeah.
to receive, I want to call in my desires, softening into the feminine, um, and letting the masculine leaving it for work and business and structure, and leaning into the feminine when you're calling in what you want.
Yeah. And it can even be like a task. Like I saw in a relationship, right? I saw this post the other day, where it was like, how do you expect your man to organize the dates? How do you expect him to surprise you by doing something for you when you are doing everything? You are already planning the dates. You're already booking everything in. You're doing everything.
Mm,
You're not leaving any room.
allowing him, yeah.
Yeah, because once again, not being open to receiving and allowing someone to trusting someone will give us what we want, thinking we need to go and create it all ourselves. We don't give people the
Mm,
opportunity to give.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Allowing space, and yeah, do you trust that you will receive if you
Yeah.
don't intervene and plan everything yourself?
Yeah. Yeah. That's my practice at the moment.
Yeah, okay. Beautiful.
All
Yeah.
right.
All right, I'll stop recording.